great to drop in and join you. Which session did you just have, just so we can get a sense? Who were you just with? Someone shout at me. Go on, Chris, tell me, who did you?
It was the lady from McIntyre.
Oh,
the lady from McIntyre.
Yep.
Yeah, a lady from Catalan, and then a lady from Stockton.
Awesome, great, fabulous. So, so our session today, I personally think that we've got the best room. So I'm really excited to get to kind of share again. But so our session is all on seizing my superpower. And we've got David, we've got Kieran, and we've got Sam, who are all going to share their stories with you guys today. It's quite a lot to get through. So we did just manage it though in the last group, to get through it all in half an hour, which is amazing. But we're saying if people can use the chat, just any comments that you've got, any questions that you've got, stick it all in there. If we do have time at the end, we'll definitely come to that. But yeah, without further ado, I think we'll start with David again in this session. So just as before, David, if you could just introduce yourself, tell us who you are and what it is that you do.
Yes, I'm David Derbyshire. I run Asperger's Heroes, which is a social enterprise at CIC that's coaching and mentoring adults on the autistic spectrum. This comes out of my own lived experience as someone who, some years ago in 2014, received a very late diagnosis of Asperger's syndrome. So I was suspecting for a few years that I was autistic. I was a lecturer in psychology. I'm married, I have a daughter. But over the years, I began to suspect that, and eventually got an assessment and a diagnosis in my 50s, actually. And from that, probably about a year later, began mentoring someone and coaching them. I studied a little bit of coaching. I began to do that and got a diploma in life coaching, began to coach someone, and then someone else. I took a voluntary redundancy from my lecturing post and began to set up Asperger's Heroes, which was a social enterprise, and I eventually established that as just a couple of years ago as a CIC, and gained some funding as well to do that. Yeah.
Brilliant, fantastic. And as I should have said at the beginning, we called today seizing my superpower, and the theme is actually all around autism, and it's actually wanting to kind of challenge some of the narrative around autism. And I know that's really at the heart of what Asperger's Heroes is all about. And you're wanting to really help autistic people to maybe see their own autism in a positive way and maybe challenge some of that narrative around autism. So could you just share for us, from your experience, both from your work, but also yourself and your own life, in what ways autism can be a strength?
Yes, I called my organisation Asperger's Heroes because I wanted to take that really positive view, and I began to take that positive view because getting this very late diagnosis gave me such an insight into my life. It just all made sense. And I began to see that though there are weaknesses connected with being on the autistic spectrum, there are also some great strengths. One is ability to focus and hyper-focus. What we mean by that is that we can, often people on the autistic spectrum have a special interest where we research something and really study it, really can concentrate on it for longer and very much persevere. And I began to do that with autism itself, with my own diagnosis, and that sort of increased my level of self-awareness, because I'm aware self-awareness can be a weakness with us, but that enabled me to understand what had happened in me and what was happening with other people that I was helping. Another strength is that we think a little bit differently. We think independently. And so it's not conforming to how other people might think. And so though some people might say, oh, I could never launch out on my own and do something like that. That didn't cross my mind not to, and I just began to do that. And I think seeing an important thing in that is just seeing the unwritten rules that are around us in our culture of how we should interact. Often people that are not on the autistic spectrum take these for granted and can't really see them. They're just common sense to people, and they somehow intuitively can understand things. But on the autistic spectrum, we need to much more consciously understand these. And so I began to think in that way and see these things and identify different ways of acting and reacting and so on, and was able to pass on that insight to other people I was coaching and mentoring. And I think there's an empathy as well. Now, often you can say, oh, people on the autistic spectrum don't have any empathy, but actually one aspect is that being someone autistic myself, I could gain that rapport with people and understand where they were coming from, where a lot of neurotypical people hadn't, and hadn't been able to help them sometimes. But and so empathy in that sense, but also sometimes I felt though I can't read people in the same way as, say, a neurotypical, that someone that's that doesn't have any sort of diagnosis can read people. Sometimes I can have a great experience of feeling how somebody feels, particularly if sometimes in a difficult situation in that. So yeah, so there's lots of strengths like that I've been able to use and encourage in other people.
Fantastic. And yeah. I think the next two stories that you'll hear as well, I think also are great examples of some of those strengths in practice, particularly around the focus, the creativity as well, and that ability to think independently. So that's fab.
Yeah.
And just as a final question for you, David, because I know that you've kind of grown your work beyond working one-to-one with people, as well as your coaching and mentoring, to actually establish a group where it's like a peer support group with autistic adults in Birmingham. So I wonder if you could just share us a bit about the strengths of that model, getting people together, and that peer support element. How has that been beneficial for your members?
Yes, we got together just before lockdown. We began to meet, and then in person, obviously, and as lockdown came, we moved on to Zoom, and so a number of people, some of whom I have or am mentoring one-to-one, and some that I'm not, that have joined this because we gained some funding to do this. And we've had some workshops where we've discussed different aspects of autism, and things like that, wellness, self-awareness, the diagnostic criteria. Some of those people are looking to get a diagnosis, so that gives them some insight into that. But one great thing that's helped people is when one person identifies and gives an example of some aspect of autism. So, oh yes, I do that, or that's happened to me. I know what you're talking about. And someone else in the room sees that, and it's a real release sometimes to people. And they said, "Oh, I'm not going mad." It is really like that when they hear someone else's story, and then somebody else in the group might confirm that. So they say, "Yeah, I've had problems with that," and suddenly lots of things make sense to people. So that's been really helpful. Also, people in the group have been able to share resources and links and search through the internet and find tests that people can do. And we've discussed these on a WhatsApp. And one thing that's been helpful is actually being able to meet on a few occasions in person. Because actually, when it first started, when lockdown first started, some people were saying, "Isn't this wonderful? Like, it's nice and quiet. I can concentrate. I don't have to go out." But after a time, they were saying, "Actually, I'm getting very lonely, and I'm not seeing people. I need to get out." and so we've had some in-person gatherings at a little outdoor venue where people are able to get a coffee and cake, and we've met together all socially distanced, and we've done that a few times now, and that's been really helpful to people, just to ground them and to see those people and to feel hopefully not so lonely, even though we are actually seeing them on Zoom. To see them in person, I think, is very grounding and helpful for people's mental health.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much, David, for sharing a story. And I think that the bit around that peer network and the way of supporting one another, I think really ties into what Angela was saying earlier as well, about actually if somebody's struggling, ask them to help you, and that sense of actually creating that community. So that's brilliant. Thank you so much. Great. I'm going to hand over to Danny now, and you can decide which speaker's going to come next.
Yeah, so basically we have Kieran and Pete up next. So I'm just going to pin yourself, Kieran. And if you unmute yourself, that would be great. And if you guys want to take it away, that's brilliant. That was the timer.
Hang on time. I don't think I need to introduce myself, really. Catherine, on the previous session, I think she's mentioned great communities, hasn't she? So, sorry, I don't know why, but my presentation, there we go. So I'm Pete Connor. I work for McIntyre Charity in Warrington on the Great Communities Project. I think Catherine has already spoken to you in the previous session about great communities. So pretty much I'm going to hand over to Kieran because I took too much of his time last time with my intro, I think. Kieran's going to talk about a project he's been working on great communities and his superpower.
So, as I say, I'm Kieran from Warrington, and I've been working on a fantastic project within great communities. It's my autism friendly film club. Ever since its inception, we found the right support. We picked out a great venue, which is Fairfield and Howe Neighbourhood Neighbourhood Hub in Warrington Town Centre. That's where it all started. We got the right funding, and it's been going so well. And even before the lockdown came into force in March, I managed to have 2 film clubs this year. And then when lockdown came into effect, it all moved on to Zoom, and I had so many of my regular film club goers who enjoy coming along to the film club each and every time, joining me every Thursday evening at 7. We always have a good talk what we've watched this week, what are everyone's recommendations, and the way it got going. And from the start, basically, I had to learn how to set the equipment up, like the amplifier, the projector, and the screen. So basically, I had some help from James Goodison, my mentor. He showed me how to roll the screen down, the projector, the Blu-ray or DVD player, and showed me how to use the amplifier. And then, when everyone arrives, I set everything up, put all the chairs out, and set up the sound equipment and the projector, and put the disc in, and then just have a little brief introduction, talk about what the film's all about, and then dim the lights. And also we have the food and drinks and the snacks.
That's the important part, Kieran, isn't it?
Yeah, true, Pete. So yeah, I've spread it and shared it to others. And recently I've inspired Ewan from another part of the country. Worcestershire, of course. So he's got his own film club style thing that he does, and he's got another one tonight at 7 on Zoom as well. So I came to the first one last week, and I really enjoyed that. So I really wanted to inspire Ewan to get his own, to set up his own film club. So it's what it is. It's my inspiration. So basically, it's my superpower, really. And also going into that as well, I've transferred all my skills that I did for film club into employment, and I also work for Cineworld in Warrington Town Centre. It's absolutely amazing to work for the second largest cinema chain in the country. And recently we had to close down again, but there are still positives about working there. I've worked with such a great team, got a great team of people around me, and I've got a fantastic general manager, that is Sonia Trayford, and she's given me this. She gave me this opportunity to work on the cinema side, and I owe her a big thank you for this, because I knew I couldn't turn down this great opportunity to work with her. And where I am now, next week it will almost be a year since I've worked for Cineworld.
Kieran, what project do you lead on at Cineworld as well?
Also before lockdown came into effect, I also led an autism-friendly screening of Sonic the Hedgehog on the first Sunday of March. And I had about 10, 15 people in Screen 4. I briefly told them what to expect from Sonic the Hedgehog, and told them that about the lights that were going to be slightly dim. There were no ads or trailers, just went straight to the film. And I was really proud of myself when I led the autism-friendly screening of Sonic the Hedgehog. And I've also connected with my friends from during the pandemic on Zoom, via the Zoom Film Club meetings I host. And also I've been getting quite a lot of new members joining as well. So basically I've expanded on it, sent the invites to my friends, and I've even had, on a few occasions, I had a colleague from Cineworld joining us on quite a lot of occasions. So yeah, I'm just so glad that I've kept it going during the pandemic, and still feel positive, really.
That's brilliant, Kieran. It's amazing to see that your passion got into employment. That's fantastic. And I'm so sorry, I'm going to have to cut you off there, because we have 10 minutes left, but thank you for that. And if anyone has any questions, just put them in the chat box, and we'll bring them with us to the main feedback session. But next we have Sam, who's a triathlete, and his dad Tony. So I'm going to pin you guys now. And here for our final session is Sam. You see, there you go. Excellent, take it away.
You just need to unmute, Tony.
Yeah, we're going to unmute, and then we're going to share the screen. Can everybody hear us and see? Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay, fire away, Sam.
Okay, my name is Sam Holness. I'm a triathlete, and autism is my superpower. So,
I'm so sorry to cut across you, Sam. We can't see your slides.
oh,
Do you want to share? I don't know if it's just me or if other people can't see. If you want to try and share.
I'm sorry, I can't see them either. Sorry.
You've got some lovely pictures on there. It'd be great to make sure we see them.
Okay, let's do this again. Share screen. God, it's not that one. That's weird. Share. Can you see it now?
Yes, we can. Perfect.
Perfect. That's brilliant. Thank you.
Okay, so just start again quickly.
My name is Sam Honus.
Take your time. Yeah.
I'm a triathlete, and autism is my superpower. So, who am I? I was diagnosed with autism at 3 years old and didn't speak until I was almost 6 years old. I could swim before I could talk. I was awarded a 2-1 BSc degree in sports science from St. Mary's University 2017. I am the only triathlete in the world that I know of that has completed an Ironman triathlon. An Ironman triathlon is a race of a 1.9 kilometer swim, 30 kilometer cycle, and 21.1 kilometer, a half marathon in one go, or a race of 3.8 kilometer swim, 180 kilometer cycle, and a 42.2 kilometer full marathon in one go. Being a triathlete has helped with my confidence and self-esteem and to cope my anxiety. I want to go to the Triathlon World Championships in Kona and swim for Channel one day. Why do I do triathlons? I want to motivate people with autism and other disabilities to participate in sport. I also want to motivate people from the Bay and inner city communities to participate in triathlons, swimming, trail running, and other endurance sports, because not many people from these backgrounds do these sports. I want to share my experiences with others to let them know that their disability should not stop them from doing sports. My autism is my superpower because it makes me very focused. I like doing repetitive tasks like training. I work hard and I never give up. Did you know that many people with autism suffer from obesity-related diseases because of a lack of exercise and bad diets? I want to change this. Here's a video about me as a triathlete. Video. Activate. It's like London in the UK. My nickname is Superpower.
So what did I do for you? Take it easy, yeah.
My name is Sam Honus. I'm 26 years old and I live in London in the UK. My nickname is Super Sam. I am a triathlete. I just have autism and I'm going to be awesome. Sometimes when I go to an event, I am the only black triathlete and maybe the only one with autism. Autism is an advantage. I am very focused and I'm not easily distracted. I train hard and want to be successful. I just never give up. If other athletes pass me, I want to catch them and get back in front. Come on, legs, go faster, get to the front. Most people don't understand autism. If I can show people that someone with autism can be a successful triathlete, then it will motivate people. I enjoy doing triathlons because it gives me confidence, improves my self-esteem. I want to go to the Triathlon World Championships or maybe Kona one day. I want to show that people with autism can participate in sport and that autism is a strength and athletes from any background can be great triathletes. All we need to do is get out there and get active. Don't let your disability be a reason for not doing sport.
Oops. God, I do hate this thing. Okay, we're just going to get one screen back. Can you still see us? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I am also motivated by the Instagram feedback for my story. Let me read a few of these posts. So you have just inspired me to motivate my son who has autism and was diagnosed at 5 years old. He will be 10 in August and he loves swimming and riding his bike. I want to see your 3 accolades. I want to encourage him to keep practicing like you. Thank you for sharing your story. And thank you. Autism speaks. Thanks for sharing this too. I read about you today and your story is inspiring. My son was diagnosed at 3 and is now 4, and I truly believe in him and all his super abilities. I'm always torn whether I should put him in after school activities like swimming or more ABBA therapy. Sports helps you, but did you get therapy also? What is my training day like? I normally wake up between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock. I normally train between 18 and 25 hours per week. A hard day involves a bike ride for 3 hours on the indoor trainer, followed by a 17k hill rep run. I swim around 15 kilometers, cycle for 10 hours, and run 40 kilometers per week. Friday is my rest days when I do as little exercise as possible. I nap for 2 hours each day between workouts to aid recovery. Each night I do 1 hour of yoga and planks and stretching before I go to bed. In social media and press, I won an award as one of the UK's top 100 most influential people in October from the Show Trust at the hashtag Disability Power 100. I also appeared on the cover of Driver magazine Canada in September. I also had a full page article about me in 220 Driver magazine's November edition. I recently signed a global brand ambassador agreement with Hoka Onioni, the sports shoes manufacturer. Autism is my superpower. Don't let your disability be a reason for not doing sport.
That's fantastic, Sam. Thank you so much. I'm just looking at the time. We've just been given the 2-minute warning, but thank you so much. I think the feedback has been brilliant yet again. Fantastic. Super, great, super duper Sam. You know, well done, Sam. Fab story. Oh, there's my alarm again. So thank you, everyone. And then we go back to the main room. That'd be fantastic. Thank you.